microphone so we can hear you. Introduce yourself. Go ahead. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Senators. My name is Sebastian. I am a transgender man born and raised in the Texas Hill Country who now works as a music teacher in Central Texas. I am testifying today to urge you all to stop SB 7 from moving out of committee. SB 7 will not only cause harm to me personally, but will also harm all Texans. It will also prevent K-12 teachers from properly doing their jobs. I will first speak about this issue from my perspective as a teacher. SB 7 will limit myself and my coworkers from doing our jobs effectively. Outside of classroom instruction, teachers also have responsibilities to monitor student behavior in hallways and bathrooms, especially during passing periods and lunch. Given the existing gender disparities among school teachers, the Texas Education Agency puts it at about 75% women and 25% men. I'm often the only masculine adult that can address male students using the bathrooms to skip class, vape, etc. when I'm on bathroom homeroom duty. If it is not me, one of my female coworkers must go into the boys' bathroom to handle student behavior. Our jobs as teachers are hard enough. I shouldn't have to worry about facing consequences from SB 7 because my ID say female, but often I am a masculine authority figure that connects with, I work with middle schoolers, so these 12 to 13-year-old guys, from doing things you're not supposed to in the bathroom. And it also shouldn't be hard for my female coworkers when they have to go into like boys or men's bathrooms to also stop 12 to 14-year-old boys from vaping and doing things they shouldn't be doing. I will now shift my focus to the specifics of my bathroom experiences as a transgender man. People who supported SB 7 today reference the danger transgender women pose to using the women's restroom. However, they fail to recognize the opposite case. We'll get here.
Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for being here. Well, introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Chelsea Longgunner. I'm a veteran. I'm also I've been in Texas for 28 years. I'm a Christian, and I'm made in the image that God made me. With that said, I'd like to say that perverse is perverse, regardless of what gender you are. I keep hearing the phrase, a man can be a woman. I was never a man can be a woman. I'm a woman. One of the things that bothers me with this bill is the fact that, God forbid, I am ever arrested for anything, but God forbid that I, somebody who's had at least 6 different surgeries, wind up in a population full of men who would do things to me. I can't begin to think about what happened to me somewhere along those lines. I can't imagine what it's like for people who wind up in a bathroom where people are waving their private parts. I don't know who does this. I've never been in a bathroom where somebody waves their private parts. When I go to a restroom, I'm terrified. Half of the time when I go to a restroom with my wife, which typically I'm in public, I have a computer with me because I'm terrified that somebody is going to stop or say something to me and try to help me and yell at me and embarrass me around me because I'm terrified. All I want to do is just go in there and do my business and get the hell out. I'm a taxpayer. I'm not a politician. I want the Democrats out of my wallet. I want the Republicans out of my bedroom. That's truly how I feel about politics, period. The civil action in these bills just scares me like a great lights out. The amount of leeway you're giving people to actually come back and sue other people, and the amount of finances that is in these bills. I heard you speak earlier about the fact that you're giving the tax, the amount of leeway that you're giving Pakistan for the local governments scares the hell out of me. I hope that if you do decide to do something with these bills, you actually check and control this law. And also, this bill seems to give tacit approval. I heard this earlier. Things like this are getting tacit approval over violence. The thing that happened in Barton Spring, the local church that was attacked, we are getting attacked out there, and it's due to bills like this creating more discrimination against transgender people out there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, yes. My name is Dr. Jermaine Wild, and I want to thank the committee for allowing me to testify and for the opportunity to testify today. I am a pharmacist who has years of experience treating and supporting transgender military service members and veterans. I am also a behavioral health specialist. I am against SB 7. This bill is an insult to every woman, SB7 does not protect women and girls more than the existing laws. It increases the risk of violence for all women and girls regardless of system status. SB7 only serves to make public life and transgender Texans illegal. Every Texan deserves dignity. SB7 makes transgender folks and anyone perceived to be trans or outside the gender expectations of the observer subject to increased scrutiny for the only reason that others are uncomfortable with their presence. Trans Texans' rights in life should not be impeded due to discomfort of view. SB7 looks to restrict bathroom access, humane imprisonment, and domestic violence assistance. Bathroom access is necessary for humans. Prisons are already brutal for the LGBTQ population. Subjecting them to isolation is an inhumane solution or workaround that can precipitate permanent psychological damage even within 7 days of isolation. Domestic and regular violence is already higher in trans women. Trans women are violence and discrimination will not change who they are. SB7 will harm trans and LGBTQ youth and adults as well. Trans Texans deserve the freedoms and protections afforded to all Texans. Trans Texans belong in Texas. SB7 doesn't. No one does it.
Thanks for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Julian. I'm testifying against SB7. I'm apparently the type of person that this bill intends to protect, a woman who has been harassed, flashed, followed, touched, and violated more times than I can count. Most recently on Friday night, walking to my car after waiting 14 hours, but never being called to testify against gerrymandered maps. Never once have I ever been assaulted or harassed by a trans person. This bill shows a fundamental misunderstanding of who is involved in sexual assaults and where they occur. It is almost always men, coaches, pastors, community leaders who commit these offenses. Women experience assaults in public parks, on the streets, and too often in their own homes. Besides missing the point about the reality of these crimes, this bill emboldens further harassment. Am I intended to carry my birth certificate every time I need to relieve myself? If I forget it, does it mean that a self-deputized bathroom regulator gets to inspect my body and pass judgment? This is a disturbing prospect. Lastly, I think it likely that I personally know more trans people than this committee combined. I feel abundantly safe around trans people, a community that protects my space and personhood the most. Perhaps because these folks have had to fight the fiercest for bodily autonomy, they respect everyone else's too. This bill is completely unnecessary and actually further compromises the safety of all women. Take SB7 and flush it. Focus on floods instead. Thank you.
And thanks for your testimony. Looking forward to hearing from you in just a second. Before we do, tell me your name.
Marcel Reardon, Kings.
Thank you. Hold just a second. We're going to hear from you. And I want to call some names for the next panel, so we can keep moving. So on the next panel, we'll be looking for Julian Herrera, Michelle Baumgartner, Becky Bullard, Dr. Susanna Carranza, Safara Malone, Anna Eastman. And so if I call your name and you're not on the Senate floor, please make your way down here so we can get you on the next panel or the next one. And thank you for waiting. Get close to that microphone. Introduce yourself and go ahead.
Gentlemen, I just want to say first, I do find it surprising that community members have excused themselves periodically during today's hearing. Klan came crushing in front of whenever they make those. I feel that it speaks further to the character of the people introducing this bill. My name is Marcel Camus. I'm here representing myself. I'm a proud non-binary Texan. I come all the way from Corio County to testify against this bill today, taking the time away from my municipal job to be able to advocate on the basic rights of human beings in the state. I contest the testimony of someone representing an outside organization in California as it pertains to the matters of Texans, especially trans and intersex Texans. I contest the testimony of a parent whose feelings suggest she does not exhibit the capacity to care about any children but her own. I contest the ability of Senator Middleton to understand the struggles of any incarcerated or abused peoples, as there does not seem to be any record of him visiting any county, state, or federal facilities that seem to concern him so much. Senator Middleton mentioned that this bill now has teeth. It does not have legs. The time and money spent on this hateful bill Texans, this bill will be challenged legally, as it has the potential to violate federal and constitutional privacy laws. Transgender Texans have become demonized, scapegoated, and othered, and the majority of testimony today has recognized the real, tangible benefits and advances of the community who literally just want to feel comfortable using the bathroom. No more, no less. This directly affects me, my coworkers, family, friends who do not live in large metropolitan areas, who do not have the time to speak out. All we want to do is our job is to live in dignity. Senator Middleton is himself confused. Sir, if you are confused and have properly addressed that, there is a wonderful product out there named Depends that I recommend you check into. Thank you, and I believe you to vote no on this bill.
Thanks for your testimony. Members, any questions for anybody on this matter? Thank you each for being here. Your excuse. The chair calls Julian Herrera. Michelle Buckenhart. Becky Bullard. Dr. Susanna Carranza. Safara Malone. Anna Easton. Well, to each of you, I'm sure you've heard me say, but you gotta get close to the microphone on the end. Please do so. Introduce yourself. Welcome. Give us your testimony.
Hello, my name is Julian Herrera, and I'm here as a man of God, a husband, a father, and a youth leader in my local church. And I support this bill. This bill is extremely common sense. Men shouldn't be in women's private spaces in all areas. I'm tired of the delusion, the perversion America has gotten over these few years. We should protect and respect women's spaces. Heterosexuality, homosexuality, and transgenderism, no man should violate women's or children's privacy rights. Certain ideologies of politicians pushing different movements and using the leaders of the organization as puppets to go after the children and women. And when a crime is committed, they use mental health as an excuse. Delusion and victimization has to stop in America. Thank you.
And thank you for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Lundgarner. I am also a Christian, mother of 7, and a youth leader in my church, and I am here to oppose SB 7. I also believe that men should not be in female spaces. When we're speaking of transgender individuals, a transgender female is not a man. They are a woman, as they have expressed today. Especially when you are dealing with someone that feels that they are trans, like my 53-year-old wife, who has undergone every single surgery to make herself the woman that she knows that she is. When you're discussing adults that have undergone complete surgeries, and that you're telling her that she is now required to go into a men's room and then flash her vagina at what? So that she can tell you who she is. Or you're going to ask a person like yourself, sir, who has completely undergone full surgeries to be a trans man, to go into a women's room then, because you were born a man, so that you can flash what? So that you can prove that you're supposed to be there. That's going to make me, as a cis woman, safer in my space. Why don't we talk about the difference between sex and gender? Gender is who you go to bed as. Sex is who you go to bed with. I am a pansexual, meaning that I am attracted to people by their personality. So if I am in a female restroom, I might find some females attractive. If I am in there and they're changing in front of me, I could be more of a predator than my wife
University of Austin Commission for Women, I do serve in that role. And in that role, it is my responsibility to understand the barriers Texas women face to living a full, happy life. The list of barriers women face is long. It includes intimate partner violence, lack of access to health care, especially here in Texas, the most underinsured state in the nation. Black women in particular face harmful health disparities. Climate disasters disproportionately impact women, and Texas has experienced more billion-dollar climate disasters than any other state. Pay disparities are less harder. The existence of trans people in public life is not a threat to cisgender women like me. Trans women are not new. Trans people have existed throughout human history. It is the politicization of their existence by legislative bodies like this that is new. Bills like this make this state less safe for trans women. Recently, a trans woman in Joint Barton Springs here in Austin with her friend was assaulted simply for being trans. Attacks like this happen because y'all are demonizing trans people for their mere existence. But let's go back to the bathroom. If we are truly concerned about privacy in public bathrooms and changing rooms, we should consider keeping the real threat out. Toddlers. Many times have I experienced a toddler crawling underneath the stall door, peeking at me through the crack in the door, staring at me as I change. It makes more sense to keep toddlers out of public bathrooms than trans people. And if anyone doesn't want to see someone else's private parts in a bathroom or changing room, I have a simple solution. Don't look at their private parts. Please vote against this ridiculous bill. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your testimony. Roger, welcome back. Introduce yourself. Give us your testimony.
I am Dr. Susan Carranza, testifying on my own behalf and oppose Senator Stuff. First of all, why are you wasting your time on this and not 100% focus on the actual needs of Texans, like, let's say, emergency alert system, which could have saved the actual lives of a lot of kids during our last floods? That's a problem that we should care about. You keep saying you're trying to protect girls and women when passing this kind of ridiculous bills. Yet, time after time, when we learn about predators, it is consistently cis men. And sometimes, they're enabled by awful cis women, such as Ms. Maxwell, as mentioned by another witness. You know, the same Maxwell, the woman who grew many, many kids to be abused in the Epstein's Island. And now that woman was illegally transferred to a minimum security prison in Texas. I have not heard any of you say anything about that publicly. So, you can start there. Maybe you should be addressing real threats against kids instead of caring about where anyone goes to that restroom. Just vote no on this thing and actually really withdraw it because it's really ridiculous. Thank you.
Thanks for your testimony. Hold tight just a moment. We're across four witnesses and want to hear from you, so don't go anywhere. On the next panel, we're going to be looking for Jonathan Covey, Darby Hicks, Castle, Safara Malone. And all right, thanks. We're all set to go. Get close to the microphone. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Anna Easton. I am a former member of the Texas House. I represented House District 148 briefly. I have testified in front of you before against these issues. I am also a former member of the Houston ISD School Board. I served for 8 years. Left before things got to the place that they are right now. I am a licensed master social worker and clinical supervision to get my clinical license. I am lovely, brilliant person, just as the lovely, brilliant trans people who have had the ability and the nerve and the guts to come and sit here today. I don't know if y'all have been in a women's bathroom lately, but every single time I've been in my entire life, whether or not it's in the state park or this building or a restaurant, you can't see anyone else's private parts. There's a door that you shut. And if you feel uncomfortable washing your hands next to my daughter, you're gonna feel uncomfortable next to her in the line at the grocery store or anywhere else. And anywhere else. This bill makes no sense. Y'all stop. People died in floods. It's not helping anyone. It is harming people, actively harming them now because we're having this conversation.
Thank you, Representative. Thanks for your testimony. Is there any questions for any of our witnesses? Thank you for being here. I call Jonathan Covey, Darby Hicks, Holly Castle, Mac Tag, Jonathan Covey, Darby Hicks, Castle, Mac Tag. Ada Starks. We'll make your way down to the next guy last night. Eve Mulnar. It's Eve Mulnar. All right, please come down for that next panel. And Alexander Stein.
They're scared of it because the government is attacking us. Why? They all had to fight for their rights in this country. Why? Why can't we, for once, see what has happened over and over again and take the chance to finally step into progress, to accepting people for who they are, for letting people live their lives? Why are we attacking trans people instead of working on emergency alert systems and flood relief? Why? Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Safar Malone, and I'm a 20-year-old black trans woman in a student. I'm here representing myself and intent for the Transgender Education Network of Texas. I was born and bred Texan and a product of Texas public schools. This bill is a disgrace. Attending a public school where I was allowed to be myself was a breath of fresh air. Getting to use the restroom of my gender, where I felt safe and comfortable, was everything to me. Not only did I pose zero harm to my cisgender girl classmates, but I was much safer from the bullying and harassment that may have likely occurred in the boys' restroom. We know that trans people aren't causing harm. Facts don't care about your feelings. There is no data or report showing that trans men pose a threat to cisgender women in restrooms and other essential facilities. What we do know is that trans women are more prone to sexual violence and harassment on forced use male facilities. We have data from the Federal Bureau of Prisons that proves this. Listen to the data. Furthermore, this bill does not only affect trans women. Under this legislation, trans men will be forced to use women's restrooms. We at Gen will continue to fight no matter what, and we won't let you legislate anyone out of public life.
Thank you for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
My name is Alex Stein. I'm considered one of the sexiest men in conservative politics. And one thing I want to say, a lot of people are going to hear my testimony and going to say they're anti-LGBTQ. I want to say that's impossible because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, so obviously I want to get it right. But, you know, a lot of conservatives like yourself, you want to outlaw transgenders in women's sports. I disagree. I like transgenders in women's sports because you can gamble on them and win money. Not win so much money like Thomas's propeller and that pool. I almost turned draft kings to draft queens. And I actually like transgenders in the military too, because first of all, transgenders are some of the meanest people on planet Earth, so they make a good soldier and everything. And then my second of all, in the battlefield. So that would be good. So I think we need transgender in the military and women's sports. Now, when we come to the basketball, this is an asymmetrical problem. Because, first of all, no dude cares if, like, a bisexual woman comes in there and tries to use, like, a pee funnel. You know, some lady boy comes in there, some stud comes in there and wants to pee in a urinal. No guy's going to be threatened by, a trans woman. Well, we're not one of these gargoyles in a dress, some chick with a dick coming in there and trying to pee or poop next to my girlfriend. That's disgusting. We're seeing these transgenders invade women's personal spaces. These people have autogynephilia, they're sexual perverts, and they actually get satisfaction from going in. They're on crimes, they're on all kinds of pills, they're impulsive, they don't have a lot of expression. So some of these lesbians, when you come in and be next to me, you're more than welcome. So you just don't let the chicks with dicks in the women's room, and you guys are all welcome in the men's room. I think that works. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Mr. Cumberland, welcome, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jonathan Kay. I'm the Director of Policy for Texas Values, and I'm testifying in favor of Senate Bill 7 because protections for women and girls in private spaces are long overdue, and common sense is finally starting to come around. Nowhere do we see this fight more evident and prevalent than in public schools. In 2023, Texas Values fought a battle at the Fort Worth Charter School when activists attempted to force boys to be allowed in a award-winning all-girls choir and vice versa, potentially setting up scenarios where boys and girls could be sharing rooms or using common shower facilities. School districts across the state are either addressing this issue, they're attempting to address this issue, or they're being intentionally subversive and political with a bunch of unspoken shower policies where officials claim they have no official policy, but in practice are consistently following the mode of operation for handling student privacy cases that everyone understands and rarely results in actual privacy for women or girls. These districts have taken proactive steps to address this issue in a constitutional manner. The ones that have not only find support among students and parents, but they also find victory in legal challenges that we can tell you about. On the academic side, children in K-12 are being falsely taught with stunning success that gender and sex exist on a spectrum. However, we know from real and provable science that the sex binary is a biological reality. There are only two sexes, male and female, and that these categories refer to individuals whose primary sex organs are organized around what they produce. Even the federal government, notoriously partisan and slow to adopt change, now recognizes the biological reality of the sex binary due to President Trump's executive order. So I would ask you to support this measure.
If you're testifying, can you close the microphone so we can hear you?
Hi, my name is Matt Caddick. I'm here to oppose this bill. Let's see, this bill is another flimsy attempt to attack the current scapegoat, which happens to be trans people today. This bill will harm a multitude of people. It will not help anyone. Here are some actual things that would help women and children. Guaranteed paid family leave, including maternity, sick leave. Universal access to reproductive health care, universal health care, free or subsidized maternal care, free mental health coverage, free child care programs and after school programs, universal pre-K for 3 and 4 year olds, living wages and benefits for child care workers, living wages for anyone, $20 minimum wage, and equal pay laws that are enforced, tax credits for caregivers, access to free transportation for single mothers and working families, access to safe housing, gun reform, free school meals for all children, flexible working hours and remote work opportunities for working families. These would help controlling the vacuum won't help anyone. So thank you for actually coming back out to hear the people talk, people that you are interested in helping. And I feel bad for people like these two guys who spoke before me who have no visibility. the saint for putting up with his ignorance. Please do the right thing and vote against this bill.
If there's any questions for any of our witnesses on this panel, thank you for being here. You're excused.
You're just jealousy and have a girlfriend.
Also,
People didn't know this bill was being turned on.
You are literally just in a weird bathroom, dude. You're a man.
You piece of shit!
It doesn't make you any more attractive, white boy.
can you call in and ask folks to make your way down to the second floor so that we can hear from each witness who wants to testify. Carrie goes Aiden Vega, Isabella Vega, Ada Starks, Eve Molnar, Kelly Marshall. Come on, I haven't seen that. Called Cecily Saylor. Cecily Saylor. Celeste Smith. You're up in the gallery, don't break it, get down here, we'll get you on the next time, but do please make your way down so that we can hear from you. Spencer Cook. Whitney Kalani. Alicia Steele. Emily Wisniewski. Genevieve Leshbrook. Please have a seat. Welcome. Call us your name and please make your way up to the floor. If you're not here already, so we can get you coming up on the next one. And keep working with us so that everybody can testify. And so thanks for your patience. Keep close to that microphone. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hello, members of the committee. My name is Dave Starks, and I'm here to testify against SB7. I'm native Texan, and I work in the software industry, and I started going to music, right after travel, and I'm looking for jobs. I'm also working with the station here at FAP, and I'm getting the first mindset of the issues of therapy. The next week, my daughter will be born. Please cross your fingers for me. I've never been so excited for anything in my life. But it won't be lost in trying to process. My activities need this no longer to be endless, and I will constantly worry about my gate. It will be hard, and if it comes to love, will be even harder. It will turn the simple act of going to the restroom into a constant risk assessment. I'll have to ask myself, if I'm watching the women's room, and if so, will they follow me and confront me? I could use a family restroom if there is one, but sometimes those are closed for repair. So maybe I just shouldn't drink water while I'm out and hold it until I get home. After all, what's a little dehydration? But it's not hard to imagine a case where I'm sleeping and recovering from a swimming flu, but I need to go to the store because I'm out of diapers and baby food, and so I end up having to use the restroom only for someone to confront me, and then the security guard comes over, and suddenly my baby starts crying and I start crying. Men, seeing me as a woman, have made a moment to consider on me. They rested their hands on my waist and tried to follow me in my car. I don't feel safe using the men's room. Instead, I use the women's room because women see me as a woman, because I am a woman, because I feel safe around other women. Please don't make me feel unsafe. Please don't pass SB7. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. If you would introduce yourself, your position on the bill, we look forward to your testimony.
My name is Julian. I'm an 18-year-old student from Denton, Texas. I came down here with my buddy this morning, and I'm here to speak against genocide. I'm here because I'm a member of the LGBT us is hurting. My trans siblings are suffering right now, and I could not sit by and allow these laws to be passed amid my silence. So I made the drive at 4 this morning from Dent today to come out here. This last spring, one of my acquaintances, a nephew of a family friend, was violently assaulted in their school bathroom after being marked as transgender. When the school began to pressure trans students to use the bathrooms aligning with their gender assigned at birth, these students were not only put into uncomfortable situations, they also became targets. This person is obviously trans, and they don't know what these people are thinking, so they become targets of violent assault just like my friend. Some of these people closest to me are non-binary, transgender, but still just kids, and watching them suffer under this legislation and dealing with their own issues at home is heartbreaking, and I don't think anyone really deserves to go through that. So I ask that you consider the implications of these policies that are being proposed. How could this affect people like my friend who was assaulted by his classmates? These people visually appear to be a different gender in the bathroom they will be forced into. It will make them targets for those who wish violence upon them. I know where it's going here, and I don't see it as an act of protection against women. I am a cisgender woman, and I would feel safe with a transgender woman in the bathroom with me. If a man is to come into the bathroom to assault me, he will anyways, will or not, and that is entirely separate of an issue from allowing transgender people into the space they feel most comfortable in. This bill was never about women's safety in the restrooms, and I think we all know it, because I see it only as an opening for more bullying to get away with more, a tactic to isolate these individuals and attack them in any way possible. You cannot say you are suffering, you cannot say you are here for the people when the people you are here for are suffering because of the legislation you have the power to influence. In conclusion, can I ask you not to support Senate Bill 7?
Thank you for your testimony. Welcome. Introduce yourself and give us your testimony, please.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee, My name is Kelly Marshall, and I'm here representing myself from the National Association of Social Workers, Texas chapter. I'm testifying in opposition to SB 7. I'm speaking today on behalf of social workers across our state who are deeply committed to the safety, dignity, and human rights of all people, including women, children, and transgender and intersex taxpayers. We strongly oppose SB 7, a bill that would further restrict sex segregation spaces, including restrooms and locker rooms of facilities and institutions, funded part of the state government, based on rigid, narrow, and ultimately harmful definitions of gender. This would include detention centers, schools, libraries, shelters, and spaces where vulnerable populations receive assistance. As social workers, we know that public spaces must be safe and accessible to all people. This bill does nothing to advance safety, it only invites greater harm. This bill does not effectively protect women and children and endangers transgender and intersex people who are already 4 times more likely to experience harassment and violence in the system. It places all under a microscope, asking them to stop really looking at a woman to use question. As these states, a political subdivision of state agencies shall take every reasonable step to ensure an individual whose biological sex is constituted biological sex designated. That's the bill itself. What does take every reasonable step mean? How will you effectively enforce this bill? Does that mean demanding every person present a birth certificate before entering the restroom? Does that mean every person will be physically inspected before entering the restroom? They're forcing individuals to pass an inspection is not safety, it's surveillance, it's control, it's a direct threat to bodily autonomy. Moreover, as a trans masculine person, if I follow this bill, I will be required to use the women's restroom. I'd like to invite the members of this committee to reflect upon my appearance and the ramifications of that scenario. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Would you introduce yourself and give us your testimony, please?
Hello, my name is Isabella Vega. I am daughter, sister, Thea, and most importantly, I'm the daughter of King Jesus. He made me biologically female, and there is a difference between male and female. I am from Houston, and I am for the bill. I am asking this committee to protect me, not just today, but for my future, and for all Texas girls' futures. I'm a volleyball and soccer athlete, and I'm very competitive among my peers, and it is hard enough to change in front of girls in the locker room. I don't like any boys or men in the locker room while I'm using the bathroom or changing. So please, again, I ask
quite frankly, it's common sense. I'm extremely tired of all these perverted men being so delusional they think they can just you die one day and go the next and they dress up like a Halloween party. I don't understand why we let some man direction my sister. You see, all these men try to come up and tell us how they feel. What about my sister and my mom and my grandma? What about their feelings when they have to take a shower next to another guy, not knowing their thoughts, not knowing what they're thinking, right? But we don't know what those guys think. We don't know if they're attracted to them or not. Only they would know that. It's very disturbing. Imagine what's running at me from my little sister to see some random guy in the restroom with her, right? She's small. She can't protect herself. Who knows what those guys are thinking, what those guys are trying to do, whether they think they're women or not, they're not. They're men. Please help me protect my sister, my mom, my grandma. As you guys are supposed to be in support for the people, I need y'all's help to protect not just my family, but the women of Texas. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Appreciate it. Members, are there any questions? Sir Milton? Thank you, Senator. All right, thank you. We appreciate you being here. You're excused. Eve Molnar, Cecily Saylor, Celeste Smith, Whitney Cagliari, apologize, and Alicia Castillo. Emily Wisniewski, Genevieve Lishford, Spencer Cook. If I have called your name, go on and make your way down. We still have 2 spots available. Oxford Delarvery. Okay, I'm a teacher. I can do this. Delarvery, Oxford. Yes. Thank you. I apologize. I'm looking forward to hearing the correct pronunciation so I can fix that. Delavier. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and start on this side. Thank you for being here. If you would begin by saying your name, your position on the bill, and then give us your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Celeste Smith. I am here representing myself in opposition of SB 7. I'm one of those lady boys that was referenced earlier. So lovely as it was called. I understand that I'm not the boogeyman that you're portraying in this bill. I'm a trans masculine individual who does not identify as a man or a woman. But because I was assigned female at birth, you don't see me as a threat. You claim you're protecting women and girls, and it's interesting because we already have laws against causing harm, specifically sexual harm, and harassment in bathrooms and other spaces. What will be the most harmful thing from this bill is the enforcement. Should I have photos of my genitalia available for strangers to approve before using a stall in the bathroom? I am androgynous, and this bill will allow anyone to harass me or demand I clarify what's in my pants before using a bathroom. Where's the safety for me? Why should I have to walk in fear to use a bathroom when needed? This is not a bill about safety. This is a bill that only looks to cause harm and turns Texans against each other. We as individuals should not have to look a certain way to use a public bathroom. Your discomfort does not validate the harassment upon me. I ask that you vote no to SB 7 for the safety of myself and so many other Texans. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here. If you begin by introducing yourself, state your name, your position on the bill, and then go forward your testimony.
Hello. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on my behalf. My name is Emily Wisniewski, and I'm here to testify firmly against SB 7. I was born and raised in Houston and currently live in Austin. I'm a proud bisexual in the queer community. I'm a single, unmarried woman. I'm a small business owner, wedding photographer, a public
harm's way. You claim it protects women and children from men pretending to be women, but what we need is protection from men pretending to be leaders. This bill is rooted in transphobia. I'm a woman with short hair who doesn't fit everyone's idea of feminine. Under this law, I can be questioned, harassed, or worse, because measures like this embolden strangers to police anyone who doesn't look the way that they think they should. It creates an environment where women, trans people, and anyone who doesn't fit rigid gender stereotypes face harassment or demands to prove their gender. Politicians have exploited unfamiliarity with trans people to fuel fear and spread misinformation under the false banner of privacy. If women's safety were truly your priority, Texas would have one of the most restricted abortion bans in the country, where women are being denied life-saving care and currently be on the international watch list for the health of its civil society. You cannot claim to protect us while actively supporting legislation that harms us and while actively shielding pedophiles and sex traffickers on the Epstein list, such as Julian, who was just illegally moved to a prison here in Bryan, Texas. If women's safety were truly your priority, we wouldn't be here policing restrooms while flood victims in Central Texas still need urgent help. This bill targets trans people, polices body, imposes one set of religious values on all Texans, and doesn't prioritize Texas floods. It's cruel and makes them dangerous. Please reject this bill.
Thank you. Thanks for your testimony. All right, introduce yourself, your name, and position on the bill, and we look forward to hearing your testimony.
My name is Spencer Cook. I'm representing myself, and as a lifelong Texan, I oppose SB 7. Those that support SB 7 report that it represents biological reality, the fact basis in both biology and reality. Of course, people that support SB 7 also report that it protects women, though you don't hear that from the groups that have historically fought for women's rights. We also hear a lot of concern from people who did not grow up with the Texas school system as it was through the 2010s. Let me be clear, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a politician, but I'm not a biologist. I'm a cashier, and I was a student. Even more, I'm a friend of those that this bill will hurt. Even if you think this bill has no potential for harm, I tell you it will. Though, of course, I need to forget arguments of morality when it comes to y'all. Repeatedly, every time I've been here, there always seems to be this mandate of unreachability, or I guess inhumanity. Of course, we're not the people funding you, besides your buildings, facilities, and other such things our tax dollars are going to. The only thing I'm here to do is be the dumb suburban boy to tell you to stop hurting my friends, in as many legal ways as I can. Largely, there's too much money behind the support of these kinds of bills, but so little support from the actual people in Texas. Commissions by coalitions with agendas spanning the nation, while the people of Texas are actually desperate for flood relief and weather warning systems. The values these kinds of bills hold dear are not values at all. They're a grift. They're a bubble. And it's a bubble that's liable to burst when something more profitable comes along. At the end of the day, we're not getting any closer to protections for women. We're not going to have cheaper rape kits. We're not going to have proper channels for reporting sexual assault and harassment. Instead of building a better society that allows women to be safer, you are complicit and implicit in a system that criminalizes the marginalized and continues while you treat the symptom. I'll tell you, you're not treating anything. You're chasing ghosts. You're playing for an audience. Please listen to actual Texans for once. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. If you could state your name. Hold on. Let me call some more folks to come down if you don't mind for just a second. I've called some of these folks' names already, but one more time. Whitney Cagliari, Alicia Castillo, Genevieve Leshberg, Daniel Iescas, Sarah Beck, Lindsay Foster, and Jessica Cohen. If you go on and make your way down to the table and to the chamber, and as we're hearing this testimony, go ahead and introduce yourself, please, and state your testimony.
I am Oxford de la Ville. I oppose SB 7, representing myself. In February, sheriff's constables in Arizona interrupted a naked female, locked in a stall while urinating, and they forced her to lift her shirt to prove her sex. In March, Walmart fired a naked female employee after a natal male customer followed her into the ladies' room and falsely accused her of being transgender. In May, a natal female in Boston, locked in a stall, was interrupted while urinating by a private security guard in a hotel ladies' room. He demanded her ID, which she showed and which accurately documented her as female. He still kicked her out of the hotel because she looked like a man. Current assault laws protect women in Westerners. This bill does not make them safer. It opens them up to harassment or worse from presumptuous, incorrect natal medicine. Further, I ask you, if the natal females you love, your mothers, your wives, your daughters, would feel safe in a public restroom with a female-to-male transsexual, possibly bearded, muscled, standing up in the next stall. Is this truly a special session priority in a Texas that proclaims to value individual privacy and freedom? While meanwhile, over 130 Texas died recently in historic floods. Please do not advance Bill 87. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. And I see you are there. Did I call your name? Okay, wonderful. And if you can lean in, I know you've got some special cargo there. Lean in and state your name. Give us your testimony, please.
Sure. My name is Alicia Castillo. I'm representing the Texas Civil Rights Project in opposition to SB 7. We're opposed, of course, because of the discriminatory nature of this bill. We believe it will harm trans and gender expansive Texans across our state, and are opposed on those grounds alone. But I wanted to also just mention the fact that we feel it conflicts with federal law. The Prison Rape and Elimination Act currently requires representatives in jails, detention facilities, establish who should be where on a case-by-case basis, which is extremely important for the safety of all people who are detained in the state. And so, 232 jails that we have, over 50 prisons that we have, I think it's really important that we trust our correctional leaders to make the decisions that are going to be safest for the people that they're responsible for detaining. Urge more consideration on both the details of this bill before passing it out in this committee, but ultimately would oppose the bill entirely and recommend that you all reject it.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, are there any questions for the witnesses? Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. You're excused.
So we've been covering the Senate Bill 7, which is a anti-trans bathroom bill. Supposedly to protect women, but a lot of testimony said otherwise. Hey, it's good to see you. You here for the SB 14? We're waiting. So, SB 7 is anti-trans bathroom bill in Texas. Apparently it's late in the session. The House is split and hasn't passed it, so this session's apparently dead according to grassroots leadership, Just Liberty, whatever, those lobbyists. Also, there's SB 14, which is another bill where they're going to try to make it illegal to get personnel records of police officers. They're already protected by all sorts of obfuscation by the Public Service Act, and so their disciplinary records are already sealed. You can get them unsealed in a court case. It's just going to be up to the courts. I think that what I want to say about that is you'd have to be insane to file a false complaint against an officer and face retaliation and death. So, like, people aren't filing false reports against police as much, probably almost, 99.9% of the time. They're real complaints. It's just 99.9% of the times police can kill people, shoot people in the back, murder people, rape people, do all sorts of things citizens and get away with it because the system's corrupt and protects them. I think that's what we're seeing is more protectionism from the police union, the corrupt police mafia unions, because police are run by mafia Freemasons. So you can see Freemason symbols, pentagrams, Luciferian symbols, big G's, different things on their gold-plated stars. Law enforcement is totally corrupt in this country, has been corrupt. It's the result of Nazi slave Klan encampments. And so these cops work for your enemies. They're not like you. You can stop trying to hug them and pretending. There's cops all over the place. I don't see the AR-15s today, but we did see the red-headed DPS officer. These are DPS. The red-headed DPS painted the crowd with his AR-15 one day, said he was practicing his aim or some dumb shit like that. You can see it on social media. It's not a secret. Find some stairs here. Texas house is closed for maintenance, it says. Closed no maintenance, actually. So yeah, I mean, I could talk to the black officer about his Klan membership, but he doesn't want to hear it. You can't talk to any of your uncles. You look like my uncle, Uncle Tom. Yeah, you can't talk to any of those brown and black police officers about working for the Klan. You can't talk to them about racism, because they'll claim that they're just like Trump turds, that MAGA Trump turds that are minorities, that try to say that they're, you know, whatever. I don't see anybody I recognize. There was one lady at the Texas Civil Rights Project I wanted to talk to, but I think nobody knows. That's what I think. I think nobody knows what time the 14 is going to go up, so I'm going to go get breakfast. I was going to get breakfast on the way in and I forgot. I don't feel like going to the Capitol restaurant. Fluoride and Bellist restaurant. I'm going to go take off for a minute. I might be late. I signed up for SB 14 to speak on it. I was going to drop a card for SB 7, which you can do, but I didn't do that. I think this is the north side. I don't know which side this is. One of the sides. Heading out of the Capitol now. And we are on the south side. I mean the north side, sorry. There. You got the safety unlock?
No.
No? Got it round in the chamber, you ready?
Oh yeah.
Alright, well I hope you get to kill somebody today. Just make it a white person. Make it one of these, right? Make it that guy in the wheelchair with the Confederate flag.
You have a good day.
I'm having a good day right now. He does not have the safety on. He said he's ready to kill somebody. He's happy about it. Oh my God. How much mistaken bacon piggy action can you get at the state capitol in one day? I don't know. It's just begun. So these cops. There you got your photo op right there. Take a photo op with bad cops, racist Klan fuck cops. And Bubba there with his finger on the trigger. And he's got a round in the chamber, no safety on. Jesus. See, another reason I believe in abortion. That guy should have been aborted. The one with the round in the chamber, finger on the trigger, should have been aborted. Sorry, America would be a finer place without racist ass Klan fucktard fucking AR-15 carrying DPS officers. Fuck. Got a round in the chamber, he says, ready to kill somebody. America. So this whole building was made by black and Mexican workers. White people didn't have shit to do with it. Just to let you know. It's on the monument out in front of the Capitol. Well, it's actually the African American memorial statues. I would say statue, but there's a bunch of people on it depicted. And it talks about the culture that was stolen, the culture that was created by African American slaves in the name of white supremacy. Klan fucktard ass, ultra mega fucktard Nazi ass. Shit. It's hard to be quiet. You got that guy in there saying fuck boys and talking about dicks and poop and shit and all that stuff, saying he's the most sexiest conservative alive or some dumb shit. Well, this guy's sexier than that numbnut. I don't understand how you can go around saying you're the sexiest conservative alive. I mean, number one, he wasn't an albino. Wasn't an albino. Have you seen the head albino? Y'all seen the head albino? He's about this tall. He's in charge of all you white fucks. No? The head albino? Got pink eyes. You don't. Yeah. These fucking racist scumbags are everywhere. Driving their bullshit trucks in here, taking all of our money. We need to take our money back. And like Malcolm X said, we don't need to have just the cars and the money. We need to have the means of production. We need to have the factories. We need to take Tesla away from white supremacists and put it in the hands of minorities. And number one, it's got nothing to do with, here's your white supremacists right here. This is what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, it's a Ford Lightning, which I see other Lightnings, but they got to have this lightning bolt to say, hey, we're Nazis. Yeah. Here's Nazi fucks. Probably a senator right here. Could be Senator Huffman. Could be Hinojosa, one of these fucking traitors. Yep. Bravo 23570 X-ray. Yeah, you got racist, white supremacists all throughout your government. You got them all throughout your law enforcement. Why do you think you have problems with your government law enforcement? Because they're corrupt. And it turns out that there's a higher power above them. It's the Freemason societies. Secret societies that control governments all around the world and have since, I don't know, for thousands of years. Thousands of years. We don't know how far back it goes. There's a lot of history though, and there's a lot of stuff you're not supposed to know. But you can look that up. You can look up Kim Hogan on Facebook. Well, she's banned off Facebook, but you can find her somewhere. She shares a lot of Freemason information from her family. She's got Freemason legacy going all the way back to Joan of Arc. There's the south side. That's where I went in. Came out the wrong end. Kind of like Greg Abbott came out the wrong end. There's some drag queens right there. Cosplay even. So yeah, you can get a paycheck to betray the people, but one day you're gonna be gone. We're not gonna need you anymore. You'll all be gone. All of you. All these Freemason fucking little fucking limp dick ninnies. They're the ones that are gonna be gone. The people outnumber them. The thing is, you think you're somebody until we don't need you no more. You think you're somebody till we don't need you no more. I can't believe they're allowed to say that stuff in the Senate. Talk about fuck boys and dicks and vaginas. I mean, the vagina stuff wasn't so bad, but the other stuff they're talking about, and then pretend that because it's just a left-right issue. So because it's a left issue for them, even though there's Republican trans people. Hell, Elon's kid, doesn't he have a trans kid? Anyways, I think Zuckerberg does. So even though it's not really a left-right issue, they make it a left-right issue. Instead of trying to left, they're against you. Even if it's not a left-right issue. It's like homelessness. There are Republicans on the streets getting oppressed by other Republicans. It's just a political football to rally their base and make it look like they're doing something when what they're not doing is talking about the pedophiles in government and in law enforcement. The pedophiles, not just Epstein Island, the government and the police are full of pedophiles. You can look at news articles, and like I said, 99% of the time that they're actually accused, they get away with it. They're protected by the system. Here's the Texas African American History Memorial. I think that's what it's called. Someone's yelling over here about something. Anyways, yeah, Texas African American History Memorial. And there's a lot. It's not a statue, it's a bunch of statues. They recently redid it. The silver and the bronze, they added those colors, African American astronauts. And it basically says that Stephen F. Austin, where is it? Where does it say? Damn it. I don't know. It says that Stephen F. Austin was a slave-owning land impresario, and I don't see it here. Where the hell did it go? Anyways, it talks about where they got people. Went after Texas Indians too. It says Mexicans. What's forgotten here is Mexicans were slave first, and indigenous people were enslaved first. But this is the 21st century, talking about. Yeah, they got rid of it. They got rid of the part that said that Stephen F. Austin was a slaver. But I do like the 3D here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They're like stuck in time. Cotton, oil, all that. Some of these over there protesting. But how come Stephen F. Austin has been obfuscated from enslavement, cotton, the governor's mansion? They built the governor's mansion, black slave labor. Most slaves showed skills in farming, animal husbandry, construction, masonry, cooking, and blacksmithing. So there's a difference between Freemasons and Masons. Freemason is a cult. It's a Luciferian cult, including dark blood magic and human and animal sacrifice and personal sacrifice. And that gets you to the top, and you can't get to the top unless you're born into it from your family. So that means all these presidents were all, yeah, they're all part of the thing. Their family's all part of the thing. There's a couple of protesters here and there. Going in?
Yes, sir.
All right.
On the way back in.
All right. Relax. No doubt the State Preservation Board hired him. They sent the DPS to go attack some teenage Hispanic kids that were protesting because they had an easy up and table out on the sidewalk. And then they left, and the easy up and table weren't an issue anymore. But yeah, the DPS were all in these little 16-year-olds' face, threatening them and stuff with their guns on. Yeah, I don't see any albino pink eyes here, so I don't know who's in charge. I saw the Confederate guy. He might be the one in charge, the one in the wheelchair with the Confederate flag in the Senate. Yeah, if you were going to do any of that, you'd be in trouble. White power youth. There we go. Lots of white power out here. White power. I'm surprised they even pay attention to the pedestrian laws. Most of these white people downtown, they don't care. They don't care. These business guys, these congressional people, they don't care. Some January 6th fans. Some Jehovah's Witness fans.
Yeah, that's the one time.
Can't interview John Smith. That's the problem. But yeah, the Proud Boy looking guys just walked by me. Lots of Proud Boy looking guys. Ex-military and ex-trailer park white men that want to wear certain garb and act like they're somebody they're not. Yeah. I'll be back in a minute, y'all. I'm just gonna. There's your view of the Capitol. I'm just going to, I'm not gonna anything. That's not proper English. I'm just going to get some breakfast, I think. I think I'll go to Consuelos, get a taco. I don't know. My burrito truck is gone. My taco truck is gone. I mean, it's there, but he's closed. He's been closed, so I'm thinking he's sick. I think he's got some health issues, and his son was taking over, or was it his nephew? I don't know. This younger man was taking over, and his burritos were nice. Oh my God, his burritos were so. We cut them in half, and they were just nice. But I don't know what's going on. It was older man's vision, and he's been doing it for 15 years at least that I know of. I've been going to the same taco truck for 15 years. Some of the best tacos in a truck. Some of the best carne guisada. Some of the best fajita ranchera. I don't do the barbacoa or anything, but he's got that stuff too. It's too greasy for me. But yeah, it's so good. Oh my God, the meat was so good. Well, now he's gone, so I go to my other standbys. But eventually, La Mexicana's gone, La Moreliana's gone on South Congress. The food trailers down there are gone. Eventually, you have no place because everything changes, and all you got is Starbucks and the bistros on Congress here that you can't afford. The bistros taking over your sidewalks. You can't afford. And there's a Texas Policy Foundation right there full of a bunch of Klan Nazi fucks, pro-cop Klan Nazi fucks that are anti-homeless, working with Save Austin Now. There's several political action committees that are doing this shit. Alright. Now I gotta figure out where I park. I forgot where I parked. I don't think it was this part. I think it was back there. Alright, y'all. I'll check in a little while. Y'all stay tuned or look for a new stream. It don't matter. And I hope Hannah made it to the stream. Yeah, look back at some of the stream. Look at the self-proclaimed sexiest conservative alive, talking about lady boys and dicks and poop and all sorts of stuff to the Texas legislature. And he called the person while they were speaking. He called them next to him. He was sitting down next to them at the table after he spoke. Another person was speaking. I don't know. Another person, trans person, supporter, not sure, but they were speaking, and all of a sudden this guy started calling him a commie. So not even knowing if, like, you could call me a commie, you could call me a Democrat, you could call me a Republican. You'd be wrong, because I don't like any of those people. I don't believe in any of those ideologies. I don't even care about your vote. I think your vote's bullshit. So after all that, calling him names. No, I don't think it was her. Maybe it's another blog. I'm thinking the wrong way. After all that, he calls the guy calls a person a commie. I don't know if it's a guy or not. He calls a person a commie, and gets away with it. Like, you couldn't do that at city council. You couldn't do that in court. Like, the rules, the Roberts rules, or whatever rules they got aren't working. They're allowing people to, like, go up there and say ridiculous stuff, totally slander, totally defamation, and allowed to say whatever they want on the mic, and they allow it. And there was nobody that said he couldn't be there. No one. He's actually supported by the administration. So these racist, transphobic, fucktard, self-proclaimed fuckboys for the conservatives, with their milquetoast girlfriend that has no muscle tone and her roots were shown. I don't know if you saw these. I noticed that all these Karens are bleach blondes. Have you noticed that? They're adults that still bleach their hair. Suicide blondes, my grandfather would call them. They died by their own hand. So they're, these ladies are cutting their own hair. I mean, dyeing their own hair to be as white, lily white, and perfect. But if you look into their history, they're not lily white. These people are bad news. Bad news. The thing is, they're loud. They're loud ass Karens. That's the thing. That's how it is all the time. I don't know how anybody can stand to be their family member, can stand to be around them. It's the American One? No. My previous lawyers were on the American One, corner 6th and Congress at that building. My current lawyers are on the 27th floor of the Frost Tower building. Both of those we won against the city and all their lawyers. We're both lawyers. Both signed by the court. Safety team's coming over here and messing with some of those. Downtown Austin Alliance safety team here. I know this is not germane to the conversation we're having earlier, but this is where your money goes. This is where all your money goes. Threatening him. There's a black man in a wheelchair right here too. Black person. Come up behind us. A lot of people with autism, a lot of people with different varying abilities and education, and a lot of people are getting oppressed right now. These scooters are cool. These scooters are fine. Nobody cares about scooters taking up space, but if you're indigent, waiting on the government to help you, the government's going to help themselves to your organs, pretty much. Gonna stress this guy out for no damn reason. He's just sitting there, and they couldn't bicycle past him. They had to go mess with him. So let's go see what's going on. Well, they got him to stand up, so now he's okay. You can't sit down unless you're drunk or eating a pizza. Unless you're a yuppie.
At the time, I thought Davin
What'd they say?
I'm a veteran, man. I can't sit anywhere.
What'd they say? You're sitting or what?
Homeless people get pushed around. They've got, the arch was used to be run by Press Steps. Press Steps wasn't doing nothing for 14 years. So they gave it to the Urban Alchemy. Urban Alchemy is a non-profit HUD organization. When you help homeless people, you have to be registered with HUD. They send you block grants. Every person that has an HMIS, Homeless Management Information System number, they track them, and the non-profit that has them registered gets money. So they're out here now moving us around because supposedly everyone's scared of us. Dear ma'am, you aren't scared of me, are you? I would never hurt you. In fact, I'd kill you if you fire. Well, I don't know, I'm not that strong anymore, but I've tried.
Yeah.
Can you spare $1.25 so I can get a cigar?
I wish I could, man. I wish I could.
I need one cigar.
Yeah. So, downtown Austin Alliance, what did they say? Or safety team, whatever it's called.
Well, if you don't do what they say, they'll call the police.
So I heard that. I was across the street. Did they tell you they're going to call the police if you didn't stand up?
That's why I stood up. They have no... I need $1.25 for a goddamn cigar, man. Nobody can go in there and fucking buy me a goddamn Swisher Sweet, man.
Someone will come by.
Yeah, well, you're here right now, man, and you're asking and you seem so concerned.
I'm going to go follow them then. So there was a offer to suck a dick on the streets. That's nice. But notice they didn't mess with the black person with the wheelchair. It's kind of like they just go around randomly harassing people, but then people think it's the way that they do it creates a lot of division. Let's put it that way. A lot of division. There go the cops. 2691, 745, and there goes the safety team. So they're working together. Like they said, they call the police. They called the police on me a couple times. I messed with that black man for arresting. Same shit every day. Bunch of racist, fuck-ass pieces of shit everywhere, including the patrons. The visitors of Austin, bunch of racist pieces of shit too. They're supporting it. The cops got their lights on. They're after someone. I don't know. I gotta get back to the Senate in a minute, so I don't have time, but this is what's going on your streets. When we need help, we can't get it, but the Karens can go jogging by. Karens can have their blonde hair. Hail all Karens, Trump 2025. Good times, y'all. Y'all didn't resist. That's what you get when you don't resist. Trump 2025! Woo! White power! White fucking power, Klan hats for everybody. Yeah, obviously I'm not in that good a mood. This is what we should do with these Klan fucks. We should recycle them and reuse those sheets. There's children that need sheets and bedding. Take their sheets, take Klan sheets, repurpose them. Recycled Klans, send them back to Europe. Send them back to the UK. Send all these racists back to the UK. Look at this SS. Ooh, is that a Camaro? I don't know. It's all a sham. It's all a sham, y'all.